fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey Star Trek Fleet Command fans, welcome back to the channel, and today you and I are going to go on a trip. We are going to take a little distraction journey away from the awfulness that has been Star Trek Fleet Command for the past 2 weeks. And it's been, in my opinion, and I welcome your opinion. I know I've been posting this all the time in my videos. I've been saying a lot. That's because I've been going through comments a lot. I've been passing these comments along. If you think that there's nothing wrong with this art, please tell me why. But most of you are frustrated like I have been. And the events haven't made anything better. Not only have we had bad content with like the research tree coming out, but now the events being buggy, payouts not happening for several hours after events, and the structure of the events just being a headache. I think everybody's pretty upset with the good old overlords right now. But one thing that always makes this game great, you, the community, you make it fantastic. You are the reason this game has survived. And I'm not exaggerating that. Y'all are the reason this game has continued to have success and viability long-term, because the community is awesome. All of you, cheesiness aside, there's a reason I'm saying all this, because sometimes when the game does not provide us the fun we need, the community's job in any MMO is to create that fun ourselves. And that's what I'm suggesting here in this video with the Risa To Orion relay. Yes, the R2R or the OR, depending on how you want to acronym it up. And because this month has been so egregiously awful, let me go ahead and tell you what my grading is so far. Big ol' F. Big ol' F. F is in failure. F is in for fanatically bad. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't have to. It's that terrible. This month has been trash, from communication from the baseline to the actual content coming out. All the C's have been terrible. And that's why we have an F. So anyway, bad jokes aside, we're going to talk about the Orion to Risa relay. So if you remember back in the day, Server 20 came up with the Reality Wars, which turned into PvP events in the game. I am always a big proponent of these type of things that the community comes up with, and one that I've been talking about for a while and now encouraging y'all to implement is this race. Now, this is a 5-system race built around Risa and Orion. Now, there's a few reasons I chose this. Because we've got Risa, we come here, we have 5 checkpoints before we have the finish line, with also tasks to complete while doing this. Now, this is going to be something that, because I'm encouraging it, the first group, whether it's Alliance or server base, wherever you are, to complete this and shoot video of it, might be having some prizes for y'all. Might give away some t-shirts or something from our merch store. But yeah, I want to see what y'all think. But here's where we're going to start with the basic rules. Now, you see all my ships are in place. You're going to need a referee, at least one referee, preferably one, so that nobody gets their hairs crossed or anything. And this is how it's going to work. You're going to have a referee positioned at every spot for the start. So you're going to need 5 ships total for the referee. The start point, the 3 checkpoints in between, and then final point in Orion. Now, what's the purpose of these points? Because, as I said, this is not just going to be a straight speed run. Now, speed is going to be critical in this. And I want to be clear that we want to break it into brackets. And what I mean by that is, for example, the 5-star, the higher level players have research that increases their impulse speed. The 40+ players do as well. So you want to be very careful about allowing like a 55 to come into your R&R or your R2R. So we're going to focus on levels 1 through 39 for the beginning runs and 40 through the rest of the game. And you can break it up even more specific for those impulse researchers if you want to. So here's what we're going to have. So you have my Valdor here is in the middle of the system. There's a start point for this one. One of the reasons I chose Risa is it has an easy start point. So this is the start of the race. This little debris patch is our start. And we're going to have our ship here. Now, I'm using a Vidar. There's a reason I'm using a Vidar and not another ship. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you're going to go through like a slalom here. So you see how the system has planets. What I'm asking everybody to do in this race is you're going to start in this point. You're going to race through these 2 planets and then take a hard turn at Suam. You're going to take a hard right. Then you're going to curl back on, and then right on Nibe. You're going to come around here. And then from this point, you're going to race down to Laoian. So you see where we're going here. So we're going from here through these planets, around this planet, then right here. And once you reach this point, this is why you need referees in each spot. Once we reach this point, the player is allowed to exit, hit the galaxy button, and warp to the next system. You cannot use discoveries or anything. You're going to actually have to warp. So if my Vidar is going to do this, I am having to break through the middle of these planets. So angles are going to be important. How are we going to reach this task? go around these planets, and we'll be watching to make sure that you actually hit each point. If you do not, you will get a flag drawn by the referee and you will have to go back to the beginning of that system. So it's a little bit complicated, but hey, races are fun for that. So once you race around, then you can choose to warp to the next system for the next checkpoint. And that's where you have a little bit of that break where you got a little bit of catch up here, depending on where your warp speeds are at. And this is where crewing can come in, because you can choose to run the pan crew for speed. You could choose to run a mixed crew like Helvia for your warp speed, but you're going to come down to your next system. Now, here's where it's going to be key to have a referee. You have to come in and then hop on a node. Now, every ship should have a basic mining rate of almost exactly the same. So we're doing 768 an hour there. You have to mine 3 titanium. It's a very low number for a very specific reason. It makes sure that nobody gets too big of a lead while allowing people to stay in the same system. So once you hit 3, you can pop off and you're going to do the same thing that you're doing before. Say we got this planet. We're going to race through the middle of it, or so to the left of it. We're going to wrap around to come down here, and then we're going to wrap around. Once we cross it, same thing over here, and then we'll get to the bottom, race straight to below the titanium nodes. And once we're there, the referee will be able to say, yes, they made the point. They can now warp to the next system. Now, I'm not going to continue to warping because it's taking time, but you're getting the basic idea of this. And I think it's going to allow alliances to have, competitions. Who's going to be the fastest pod racer in the alliance? And they're going to have server battles over this. And it adds a little bit more to the game. Now you get into this system and there's nothing here. There's just one planet. That's fine. The third leg of this journey is a straight rush through. You're going to go from entering into the system right here. And remember, where you choose to enter in matters, because if you enter in right here versus entering in right here, the speed is going to change it up. So entering in the system at an appropriate angle and getting to this point here. See the lowest titanium node, we want to hit this spot. Now you could just say blindly hit it and then look where it's going to come from, this side. So be careful when you're going through that. You just want to get to this lowest point. Be careful. Then we're going to go, so this is the shortest leg of the journey, but getting us to our 4th leg right here, you see with Newell, we're going to have a little bit more of that warp time. And in here, we're going to go back to making it into the slalom. Now, because you're coming in from this back side, you're going to warp in. So we got a hub system here. Go north. You're going to wrap in, go up and under, come across. Another one, bam, bam. See why we need so many referees? So once you come through here, you've still got to come back down here. So once you pass through here, you got to come over here, cross through here, and then come down, and then straight down to the bottom. So a little bit more of a loop-de-loop, a little bit that's, actual curved path. We're not NASCAR in here, we're running. So come down through this cycle. Then we're gonna have to bust through Fehan on this side. Yeah, sorry for the flight times. It does take a while because I'm literally flying the map as we do it. And then once you bust through, remember, we got to cross the planet, and now we got to go all the way across here. And this is where speed is huge. And my Vidar currently running a speed of 198 on impulse on what I'm currently running with my Synergy crew. Now, you can use any ship that you want to, but you are going to probably need at least warp 120. So, I'm sorry, at least warp 20, my bad. And then we'll come across here and then cut across. And then once you reach that, same thing. Once you cross Weavavin, you're going to just shoot straight down right here. And then once you reach this point, the referee will be able to say, yes, they made it. And then we're going to jump to the final leg of our journey. And this is why I said you needed a combat ship, because the final one is literally just warping into the system. The first one to get to the referee's final ship, which is why I have an envoy placed in between the trading station, Luna Orias and Orion Prime. You have to get there, and the first person to destroy the referee's final ship in this leg will be the winner of the the Risa To Orion relay. There it is. That is the first community event that I'm excited to see. I want to see who will actually try this, who will attempt it, and what ideas you have for community events. This is the type of stuff that many other games will try in terms of creating events, and I am encouraging y'all to. And we'll have to set something up. I mean, the winner of the first race that gets sent to me, maybe we send them some t-shirts. Maybe we send the first, the top 3. You give me suggestions. And if you have events that your server does for community type stuff, I want to know about it. This is helping me be happy and have fun, because at the end of the day, sometimes there's just going to be really bad months in the game. The community, however, can stay amazing. Really curious to see how y'all play with this and enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Race will probably take 10, 15 minutes at the most for each time you run it. But can't wait to see what ideas y'all come up with, and hopefully this starts, if nothing else, a brainstorm session for you. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next one. Love you.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.